Hello, my lovely, beautiful people. We are here to talk about the solstice and the full moon. Happy solstice, babies. Make sure that you go out into the sun within the next couple of days. Soak it up. Make sure you clarify your intentions for the rest of the year and where you want to go and what you're looking forward to happening. Um, and just get into a space of enlightening and illumination because that is what the solstice energy is about, okay? Um, so with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. I'm going to talk majority about this full moon, but before I get into the full moon, I do want to just talk about the summer solstice and what it represents spiritually speaking. So, it is the longest day of the year with the most daylight hours, and it marks the official beginning of summer. With that being said, summer is a season where we are blossoming, we're blooming, we're in a state of feeling light, feeling abundance, we're renewing our energy, we're generating and creating community, we're celebrating, we are putting ourselves into a space where we are understanding of the fact that, okay, we went through the darkness of winter, we did the inner reflection, or if we did the reflection that we were supposed to do, then you won't be going through a reflection during this time. But if you didn't, then you might be going through a reflection. If you did do the reflection that you were supposed to do during winter solstice, then you are likely going through a renewal of energy and community and celebration. And that's essentially what summer solstice brings. So I just want to invite you to just kind of invite some of that energy into your own life so that you can take advantage of this space and be actively participating in um, renewing your life and changing your story. So I want to invite you guys to do that. Um, it took me forever to make this video just because I have a lot going on right now. But I was like, I want to come and just give all of this information. So I do want to start, now that I've gotten the solstice energy and info out the way, I do want to start with this full moon. Obviously, the full moon is in Capricorn, okay? When you consider the balancing dynamic between the sun in Cancer and the moon in Capricorn, the sun in Cancer brings focus to our emotions, our intuition, our ability to nurture. The moon in Capricorn highlights our ambitions, our responsibilities, our need for structure. Um, as we navigate the aspects of this moon, there are additional energies to consider. So I just want to tell you guys, obviously the moon is in opposition with the sun. That happens every time that where there is a full moon, simply because they're in opposite signs. So it's like we're reflecting on our emotional needs for stability, security, practicality. We're reflecting on our accomplishments. Um, we are putting ourselves into a place where we're balancing out the need for emotional stability and security with the core desire for emotional connection and security. Um, we are being challenged to balance out our professional ambitions with the needs of our heart and like our family needs. This aspect can also manifest as like an internal struggle to prioritize finances and career over your home life and family life. And it's really about balancing and integrating those things to work in your best favor. Excuse me. Um, the moon in Capricorn is also opposing Venus in Cancer. This is highlighting a need for a loving, nurturing, emotional, secure connection. Um, it's like this push-pull dynamic between the need for emotional stability and the desire for nurturing relationships, the need for personal ambition and individual independent pursuits, leadership and power and control over just needing nurturing, needing heart, needing actual love and compassion. Um, and there's this need for like intimate, caring connections and finding a balance between emotional reserve and allowing those intimate emotional connections to thrive is going to be key. You can also struggle with a lot of emotional avoidance during this time, just because it's kind of like the sun in Cancer is wanting to illuminate your feelings, and the moon in Capricorn is wanting you sometimes to hide those feelings behind what your personal ambitions are, and those two things can be in conflict. And so that's something important to be aware of. The moon in Capricorn is also trine Mars and Taurus. This represents a drive for stability, sensuality, persistence. We create like a very nice flow of determination and love and sensory pleasure and devotion when we're in the right alignment of energies. There's a stability that is created into our emotional needs, and that moves into tangible action. So if you've been having some relationship issues that maybe don't align or agree with that, you may find that over the next couple of days those things balance out. It also enhances the ability to pursue our goals with patience and resilience. The fact that moon is in trine, the moon in Capricorn is in trine with Mars and Taurus, and so that's something to look forward to as well. Mercury is also in Cancer, and that is creating an opposition with the moon too. Um, Communication styles may be emotionally expressive and intuitive. There may be some tension due to emotional restraint and the resistance to be able to communicate feelings openly. This can lead to internal conflicts about expressing our emotions versus keeping our emotions under control. It really is going to highlight the importance of finding a way to communicate our emotional needs without feeling overly vulnerable or like we're putting ourselves out too much. This moon is in sextile with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. This brings an emphasis to discipline, responsibility, and taking a practical approach in a compassionate and intuitive manner. Um, there's like this blending of emotional stability and compassion that aligns with your discipline. There's also this energy of navigating responsibilities with empathy and practical wisdom, and aligning your emotional needs with your sense of duty and service. And so leaning into that space and allowing yourself to thrive within that is going to be key. And then the last aspect is the trine with Uranus and Taurus. This represents innovation, change, breaking of traditional patterns, um, personal growth, adaptability. Those are some things that you can expect to come of this moon. And the energy of this moon will last for the next few days, so we'll have some time to sit with it. We are definitely going to be reflecting a lot during this moon on certain illusions that have come to our light. There's an energy of surrender that is taking over with the collective, where we need to work on controlling what we can and having the discipline to work on what we can work on in real time, while at the same time relinquishing control of the outcome and just doing the work that we can actually do. Um, so that is something else that is going to put us into a position to win as we navigate these energies. Um, yeah, I would say, as far as just summarizing the moon and what it's bringing, what it's representing, I would say that's the gist of it. We need to really confront our fears, dive deep into our psyche, and unearth those buried traumas and patterns that no longer serve us, to release them and to put us into a place of personal transformation and empowerment. And so, if you are not in a place where you're ready to do that, you may find that you are experiencing some extreme resistance, where things just seem like they are not going right no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. It's just like there seems like to be this pushback and this energy of like, oh, I just can't get it right, I can't get through. And it's likely because you're holding on to something that you don't need to hold on to, or you're resisting a change that you need to lean into because you want to be selfish and you want to be egotistical, and you would rather allow the level of control that you think you have over your emotions to lead you, versus actually facing your emotions in your heart and moving from that center. So make sure that you are effectively clarifying that and moving through that space. I, of course, do have a full moon in tarot. I mean, full moon in Capricorn tarot spread that I want to do for y'all. But before I do, I do just want to go through these journals with you guys because I figured why not write them with you on video to inspire you also to write them. So the first question is, how can you surrender to structure and discipline in order to support growth and development? How can you surrender to structure and discipline in order to support your growth and development? For me, I can continue my morning routine. Being disciplined in connecting with God. And finding ways throughout the day to promote gratitude, faith, and favor, because I have bad anxiety. When my anxiety gets bad, I get out of alignment with discipline. But I find that affirming my faith helps to relieve my anxiety because you can't pray and worry about things at the same time. So if I already know that I've done the work, I already know that I've given it to Spirit, I already know that Spirit has given me an answer on what will happen from it, I have to release that. And so that's what I mean by the faith piece of things. So there is that. How can you surrender to structure and discipline in order to support growth and development? I would say those are the main things. Oh, and just keeping up in school. Keeping up in school, staying ahead of things, that helps me because I can procrastinate and then force myself to work under pressure, and then that turns into a whole thing that I don't need to be in. So that's another thing that I'll write down. I don't want to write all of these down on camera because it's going to take too long, but I am going to go through a few of them with y'all, and then I will tell y'all what the rest of them are. So then the next one is reflecting on the progress since the Capricorn new moon last year. What significant advancements have you achieved in your personal journey? So let's first of all see, when was that? So the new moon in Capricorn was that can't be right. Did we not have a new moon in Capricorn last year, y'all? Like, that can't be right. Am I tripping? Okay, I don't know when it was. But regardless, think about the new moon in Capricorn last year. It would have been sometime probably in late December or early January. Maybe that's why, because it was in January. So think about how far you've come. Let me see. Maybe that's why. That actually makes sense. I'm sorry, y'all. This is gonna bother me. January 11th. I knew I wasn't tripping. Okay, so from January 11th until now, how far have you come? What has changed? Think about the fact that that moon was in um, a square with the North Node in Aries. And so there was like a big level of tension that was occurring during that time. How has that tension progressed? What has changed? Um, yeah, think about those things, reflect on that, reflecting on the progress that you've made since the Capricorn new moon, January 11th of 2024. What significant advancements have you achieved in your personal journey? For me, I have continued to go to therapy. I have continued my journey with school. I've done a lot of work as far as like cleansing, fasting, healing myself, healing my relationship with my inner child, reconnecting with my parents, rebuilding community. I've just been doing a lot of work around community building, personal development, and business. And so I would say those are the most significant advancements that I've achieved in my personal journey since January of this year. What vulnerabilities have I been concealing, and how do I plan to confront them head on? I'm not ready to talk to y'all about that right now, but I will say the vulnerabilities that I've been concealing are a lot, and I plan to confront them head on by continuing to do what I've been doing, which is journaling, praying, fasting, doing yoga, doing inner child healing, finding ways to self-soothe and regulate my emotions, and all of those things. And so I'll write down a version of that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to just run through these really quickly so we can get through the rest of this video without it being forever long, because I still have a lot that I want to talk about. Um, Compose a letter to your inner teen or former self, delving into acknowledging and forgiving yourself for the past emotional wounds. Ignite a white candle and burn the letter afterwards. I definitely am going to do that. I probably will do like a time lapse of me doing that, so y'all will see that. If you can make one permanent change to yourself, what would it be and why? If I can make one permanent change to myself, I would change my attachment to people. I would change my need to try and save and help and fix people. And I would just put that energy into myself, because it always leads me to getting hurt. It always leads me to getting drained. It feels like I'm just always being taken advantage of, and people only want me for what I can do for them, or what I can teach them, or what I can tell them, and they don't want me for me and who I am as a person. So if I could change anything, it would be that I just don't pour into people that don't pour into me. Um, and it's so hard for me to do that because I'm not set up that way. I have a good heart, and if I feel called to pour into you, if I love you, if I see you spiraling out, I'm gonna do my best to try to help you before you get to a point of no return. But I'm starting to see like people are grown, they're capable, and when they're ready to do the work, they will, And so I would change that need to um, control and to fix and to have such empathy that I have to insert myself into your chaos. Like, whew, yeah, I would take that away. How can you bring more purpose and deliberation into the act of sacrifice and purging? By being more disciplined about standing on my boundaries, and about the consistency, discipline level, and extremities to which I fast. I would say, yeah, that's how I can bring more purpose and deliberation to the act of sacrificing and purging. Because I've already done a lot to facilitate that, and I feel like those will be the last two things. Okay, so now that we did that, I just want to talk to you guys about a journal that you can do for this. I mean, not a journal, a ritual that you can do for this full moon. What you're going to need is, you're going to need a journal or a notebook, a pen, of course, a candle, some incense or sage, and a yoga mat or a blanket. You're gonna set up your space, make sure that it's undisturbed, make sure you feel comfortable. Take a moment to center yourself, take a few deep breaths, speak a prayer into this full moon. You know, you may say any prayer that you would like, but just, I would say, if I were making this prayer, I would say something like, you know, Holy Spirit or Divine Creator, I seek your guidance. And I seek your guidance in your lessons. Grant me the discipline to reach my goals and the perseverance to overcome any roles, any relationships, any contributions that are no longer serving me. In this lunar phase, I do um, realize what no longer serves me, and I feel complete, and I'm ready to move forward with steadfast determination towards my goals. I embrace my path. I'm grounded in wisdom. I'm ready to face any aftermath of my consequences and conclusions. And I'm heavily protected, divinely guided, and highly favored. Grant me the patience to build a solid foundation, and accept the challenges that come with dedication and devotion. May this full moon illuminate my purpose and my worth, empowering me to release, repent, and repel anything that is no longer serving me, and to be reborn in order to be empowered to manifest my most deep desires on earth. Like, you might say a prayer like that, you know, or whatever it is that you want to say. So you're going to go ahead and say your full moon prayer, and then you're going to reflect on the achievements and milestones that you've made since December of this year. Acknowledge and celebrate your successes. You deserve to celebrate yourself, whether those successes are big or small. Write down at least 3 accomplishments in your journal and express gratitude for your own growth and progress, and really sit with that gratitude, sit with that celebration, sit with that joy, sit with that feeling of accomplishment, and embrace it, breathe it in, act like you actually deserve it, because you do. Think about any resentments or grudges that you're holding to, and allow yourself to release the negative emotions associated with that. Write a forgiveness letter to yourself in your journal, addressing the person or situation that needs to be forgiven. Pour your heart out, you know, and express your emotions, releasing that pain. And then after a moment of reading that letter, take some time to say out loud, I let go, I forgive you, I forgive myself, and I'm releasing this. And then sit in a space of gratitude and reflection. In that space of gratitude and reflection, write down some things that you're grateful for. Write out some of the reflections that you are having about your limiting beliefs, fears, obligations that you no longer want, old patterns that are holding you back. And hold those things in your hand. Visualize releasing those things. Burn the paper up if you want to, and that'll conclude your ritual. I think that's a powerful practice for this full moon. I am definitely going to do that when I finish this live. In addition to that, I'm going to do yoga, and I'm going to record this meditation for letting go of guilt for the full moon. Letting go of guilt, letting go of shame, letting go of oppression, letting go of suppression, and just allowing yourself to be free, to really live, and to be open, and to be revived as you should. So try that out. I'm going to end this off with a tarot spread, but give me 1 second. Let me go get my Moonology deck, so that way we can include that, because this is a lunar reading. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna take y'all with me. I was gonna say I'll be right back, but let's just take y'all with me. Travel together. Travel together. What did I come in here for? Moonology deck. Do 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 do. What's up, Dutchiana? What's up, girl? You want to say hi to the people? Ow! Dutch, how you gonna scratch me up like that? Where they do that at? Huh? Where do they do that at, Duchess? Come here. Hi. Hi, sweet girl. Hi. You just want some love? Okay. I know the baby just wants some love. Yeah. You're such a sweet baby. All right, girl. Get down. Look at you. Got your nails stuck all in my shorts. Go on about your business. Okay, guys. Sorry. Had to love on the fur baby. Not my fur baby, but had to love on the fur baby. Anyway. What are we doing? Tarot. I'm sorry, y'all. So this spread has 2, 4, 6, 8 questions. I'm going to pull out a card and an oracle for each question. And then I'm going to pull out Moonology and a postcard from Spirit. And we are going to get into these messages, honey. Okay? Must be a full moon. Oh, must be a full moon. I just want to tell y'all while I'm taking these cards out, a message that I've been getting from Spirit for this moon. And it's just like, make sure that the things that you're doing right now are things that you want to stick with. Stick with your boundaries. Stick with your direction. Stick with your standards. Stick with your level of responsibility and obligation. Stick with the things that are important to you. And don't lash out in the face of change. Don't lash out in the face of conviction. Don't lash out in the face of feeling like I need to shift these patterns, these behavioral patterns, and I need to enact discipline, and I need to have restraint. Don't let the fear of adopting that restraint, adopting that discipline, accepting the fact that you need to change certain things, don't let that push you into a space of avoidance, because it's going to be very difficult for you to come out of that as we move through the rest of the year. You're going to get stuck there, and I'm telling you, things are going to start falling apart. So before you get into that, go ahead and admit to yourself, I need to change. I need to be disciplined. I need to redirect this energy. I need to redirect that energy, and do it. Do the work to get it done, because Saturn is not an energy to play with. The moon is not an energy to play with. The sun is in Cancer. The moon is in Capricorn. It's very much the light of the moon being reflected by the sun. You may try to hide who you really are, what your intentions really are, how you really feel about things, but this is a time when it is going to be revealed. Whether it's revealed on a public level or whether it's revealed on a private level, it's going to be revealed nonetheless. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, if you're not in a space of surrender, if you're not in a place of non-resistance, if you're not in a place of adaptability, compassion, love, and devotion, as well as discipline, consistency, structure, and authority, you're going to lose out. I'm telling you now, that's just the nature of where we are with not only the moon and the sun, but the rest of these aspects that are in relation to the moon, and just the collective energy as a whole at this particular time. Okay? So that's just a download that I'm getting that's on my heart that I wanted to tell y'all. Let's pull these oracles out, and then we'll get into these messages. Whoever just came in here, hey honey, how are you? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know you were here. So do appreciate it. Y'all, I have a feeling like this is about to read not only y'all for filth, but me for filth as well. Whew. So let's just take a deep breath and get ready for it, because y'all already know how it go once I start reading for filth. And it's been a minute since I done did a reading for filth, child. But 'tis the season, baby. 'Tis the season to be honest. Direct and blunt. 'Tis the season to be truthful, transparent. Okay, period. Y'all lucky I can't sing because I would be singing to y'all all the time. For real. For real, though. All right, one more oracle, y'all, and then we could get into it. Into it. And I like what I'm seeing, even though I feel like we're about to get dragged by our edges. I like the outcome of this. I like the progression that I'm seeing. And baby, oh yes, for this postcard. Oh, all right. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, honey. So, first things first. In what areas of my life do I need to cultivate greater structure and organization to support my growth and stability? So, in what areas of your life do you need to cultivate greater structure and organization to support your growth and stability? In your mind, okay, you need to shift your perspective. You need to put yourself into a position where you're willing to think outside of the box, to build upon your ideas, to take action without having all the knowledge, the resources, or connections, and to just trust that your innovation and your ability to move towards that innovation is enough. You have to create structure and organization in your mental ideas, forming those ideas and forming methods and strategies to be able to act upon those things. That is what is going to support your growth and your stability. If you are not willing to have the confidence in taking action upon new ideas, even though they may not feel fully comfortable, you are going to continue to be stuck in this first quarter process and you are not going to get through to completion. Okay? That's the message that we're getting right here. Where are you relying on external approval or validation to define your worth, and how can you reclaim your own self-validation? You are relying on external approval and validation to define your worth as it relates to your ambitions, your finances, your work, as it relates to the way that you interact and connect in spirit, and also in some of the ways that you choose to show up socially. Another thing that's coming out here is you are relying on external approval and validation to define your worth, and how to define your worth in your like you're letting other people convince you that your foundation is not stable enough and that you need to do something else, or you need to add something else, or you need to take something off that's actually working for you. And you can reclaim your own sense of self-validation by affirming the fact that your foundation is already stable for expansion. You have the level of ambition and wherewithal to know what you want to get to where you need to go, and you have the confidence to be able to pivot in ways that you are messing up, to facilitate strengthening the foundation to build upon. I hope that makes sense, y'all. I hope that makes sense. I just said a whole lot. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense. If not, I will further clarify. But essentially, you're relying on external approval and validation in the way that you pursue your ambitious endeavors, the way that you pursue money, and the way that you offer up your energy. That's where you're relying on external approval and validation to define your worth. How can you reclaim your own sense of self-validation? By affirming that your foundation is already set and secure for expansion, and acting in a way that embodies that, whether you feel ready at this moment or not. Okay? That's a reiteration of that. What is the driving force behind your current goals and ambitions? You want emotional fulfillment. You want to plant seeds that are going to build legacy, that are going to build emotional fulfillment, that are going to build connection, that are going to build partnership, that are going to put you into a space where it's like, finally, I can relax. I can relax and know that I'm secure. My foundation is secure. The expansion that has come of that foundation is secure. The fulfillment that I'm in is secure in mine because I deserve it. And I don't have to worry about constantly being in a state of perpetual feelings of unworthiness, imposter syndrome, and inferiority. Okay. How is my darker side? How is your darker side obstructing your journey of integrating and embracing your shadows? You're not being honest. You're not speaking up about how you really feel, and you're also not standing on your boundaries and the actions that you should be in order to integrate and embrace those shadows. That's how your darker side is obstructing your journey, because it's not allowing you to be disciplined. It's not allowing you to be responsible. It's not allowing you to be reserved in the areas that you need to be reserved in, and expansive in the areas that you need to be expansive in. And then also you're being quiet where you should speak up, and you're speaking up where you should be quiet. You gotta bring balance and clarity to that, or it's just not going to get any better. What valuable lesson have your what valuable lessons have your shadows taught you thus far during this season? Sometimes the best thing that you can do is operate from the space of your heart. You can know and fully feel that, like, you could have done better, you didn't necessarily do better, and now you want to do better. And it doesn't mean that you have to go. Let me rephrase that. So the valuable lesson of the shadow is sometimes our egos will protect us in ways that we don't need to be protected anymore. Our egos will have us be mean to people and be closed off and be hurtful and toxic to people who actually mean great things to us. It'll have us be closed off and isolated when we actually have a desire to build intimacy and community. It'll have us be unhealthy and eat things that we really don't need to facilitate instant gratification. That throws off our personal and professional growth sometimes. There's a lot of ways in which our ego can sabotage us, and I feel like that's the lesson of the shadow. Not allowing your ego to sabotage you and being willing to speak up about the ways that it is, so that you can call it out and rectify it. Because, I know that most of you guys are spiritual and you're not Christian, and y'all know I'm not Christian, but I have a vast knowledge of the Bible, so I always refer to it. In the Bible, it talks about how you have to call things by their name in order to cast them out. Like, you have to call things what they are in order to heal them and get rid of them. If you keep saying, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, but you're not talking about what the root of that depression is, you're not talking about how something happened to you and now you're made to feel inferior, and now you're making decisions that betray yourself, and that is leading to that depression, you're not going to be able to get out of the depression. So you have to call the things what they are. You have to call them by name, and only in calling them by name will you be able to cast them out like the demons that they are. Okay, that is the teaching under this influence that's coming out. I hope that makes sense. What teachings or lessons is Saturn imparting on you during this time? Saturn is teaching you balance. Saturn is teaching you to learn how to be more emotionally regulated, so that you are not making decisions that are emotionally centered. Okay, emotions are energy in motion. They are changing from one moment to the next, one moment to the next, one moment to the next. And if you're constantly making decisions on emotion, you're not going to be able to facilitate growth, progress, peace, or prosperity. Okay, you have to move from a space of peace, knowing, understanding, and wisdom in order to facilitate and create those things. So the teaching of Saturn, one, is pick up your feelings, babe. Pick up your feelings. Get out of your emotions. Yes, you can feel your emotions. You can acknowledge them. You can call them what they are. But that doesn't mean that you have to sit in them, stew in them, and allow them to take over you or to rule your decisions. And you have to have balance. You have to have balance in between the physical and the spiritual. You have to have balance in between compassion and discernment. You have to have balance between empathy and boundaries. You have to have that balance, and you have to be willing to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and pour into each cup as necessary. So that's the teaching of Saturn. How can you approach the acts of sacrifice and purging with greater intention and purpose? I would say by letting go of self-imposed restrictions and limitations and strengthening your faith. Everybody's in a season where we're being asked to change and let go of certain self-imposed restrictions and limitations. I don't know what yours are, but for me specifically, I am being asked to let go of the the restriction and limitation that tells me that I'm not good enough, that tells me I can only do one thing, that tells me my dreams are invalid, that tells me no one wants to hear what I have to say, that me speaking out my truth is only going to lead to more problems for me. Like, I have to get out of those self-imposed restrictions and limitations, and I have to have faith that using my voice, using my gifts, using my discernment, and my knowledge will lead me to exactly where I want to go, because thus far that has been the case. So for me, I can approach the act of sacrificing and purging with greater intention and purpose by accepting and understanding that whatever your self-imposed restrictions and limitations are, and wherever you need to strengthen your faith, you apply that. But that is my example. Okay. Lastly, what additional guidance does the moon have to offer you at this time? You may feel overburdened, you may feel overwhelmed, but everything that is happening to you at this particular time is happening to teach you a lesson. It's happening to remind you that you don't have to carry weight that is not yours, and it's happening to remind you that at the end of the day, you still have to be disciplined about being the person that you want to be and become, no matter who somebody else is being and what they're doing. And that is going to facilitate generational healing for you, because it's going to set you apart from the people that you love and the patterns that they've held all these years, in the ways in which people do things that are dysfunctional as hell, that's not really working for anybody, but they will keep doing, because if they do it, then why can't I? You know what I mean? Like, it's really letting go of that is coming out as a message here. We also have this new moon eclipse card come out. Expect powerful change. If you surrender to it, expect powerful change to happen. This is a season for powerful changes to happen. It may feel like you're going through hell and back right now, but I'm telling you, the hell that you're going through is going to yield a heaven for the rest of your year. So if you can just surrender to the process, stay close to God within you in the process. If you need to fast in order to promote and facilitate clarity, do that. If you need to pray every day and in the morning and the night to facilitate clarity and divine guidance, do that. But know that no matter what, you are divinely protected, you are highly favored, you are divinely guided, okay? And if you walk with that attitude and you surrender and you're adaptable, those powerful changes will take root. You can release the negativity and the worry associated with the lack of security that comes with them, and you can walk into a season of rebirth, renewal, and revival with a smile and your head held high, okay? And then our postcard from Spirit says, Dearest you, since you're on Earth, you understand how buildings are built. Yes, a good solid foundation, and yet flexibility too, in case of earthquakes. Truth be told, you can't offer something sustainable unless it is built from a solid base, whether it be an idea that takes form one step at a time, or an actual house. Excuse me. Or an actual house that needs a sturdy foundation dug, poured, and built. We want to remind you of this because you might need a little encouragement to see this is true in your life at this time. Celebrate the fact that right now you can repair the cracks in your foundation, in the foundation of your life effortlessly, as well as do a general sight check to ensure your hard work is being well supported. Do this and know that you are building your life on a perfect and sound foundation that will allow you to welcome the many miracles waiting to come to visit. We are so happy for you and so intrigued by what you are building. So I will leave you guys with that. Please make sure that you comment down below and let me know that you were here. If you have not subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe. If you don't know me, my name is Shawnee. I use the language of mindfulness, metaphysics, and magic to help you get past your self-imposed box and limitations and into the life that you want to live, my love. So if that is something that you need assistance with, definitely join the team, press the thumbs up, subscribe, come back for the next video, and visit my website 11moons11.com so we can have a one-on-one and talk about how I can best help you, okay? And do also want to note that this full moon card is coming out at the bottom of my 11 moons deck, and that is just a confirmation that maybe we're in the right place at the right time right now, okay? Yeah, again, you guys are heavily protected, divinely guided, and highly favored in all that you are and all that you do. If no one else has told you today, you are loved and you are loved. I hope you all feel very blessed and fulfilled with the culmination and celebration that comes with this full moon. And I hope that you all nurture yourselves and your spirits within this energy. It can be very heavy and cleansing, but it can also be, I mean, it can be very renewing and cleansing, but it can also be very heavy and draining, because it requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of releasing and redirection. And, we have to be ready for that. So I will leave y'all with that. And I hope y'all